What's good, YouTube? Before we get to the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you get notification when I post another video, and let's get into it. I ain't gonna try to pause it like plenty of times in this video, cause like it's just whatever. But shout out Law and Crime Daily for like getting this video off of their video. So shout out to them, go subscribe to them. Look into it.
Welcome back, everybody. So rapper YNW Melly is 7 weeks out from his retrial in South Florida, and his defense team believes that time should be spent out on bond. A motion appeared Wednesday in the Broward County court docket asking for an Arthur hearing for the first time since Melly's been in custody. The South Florida rapper, whose real name is Jamel Demons, is accused of killing two of his close friends, Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas, back in 2018. Prosecutors believe that Melly, along with his co-defendant Cortland Henry, shot the two men while the group was in a Jeep and then staged the alleged gang-related murders to look like a drive-by shooting. Melly's defense team argues that their client had no reason to kill his close friends, and there's insufficient evidence to prove it. Melly faced the death penalty in his first double murder trial held in June and July, but the 12-panel jury couldn't reach a unanimous verdict, and it ended in a mistrial. Prosecutors are set to retry Melly again in October. In the meantime, his defense team argues that Melly's been in jail for over 4 years, and he's entitled to bond for several reasons. One of those being that prosecutors couldn't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt the first time around, and his co-defendant Cortland Henry has been out on bond despite facing the same charges. The only difference, of course, is that Melly faces the death penalty while Henry does not. The bond hearing is set for Friday. So, Brian, why do a bond hearing now after the trial? I feel like there's an advantage there, right?
Yeah, so you can actually ask for a change of bond at any time in someone's criminal case, but you typically have to wait for what's called a change.
So basically, I think they're trying to get YNW Melly bond. I don't really know, but like I'm trying to like figure out and sum it up. I think they're trying to like give him bond and stuff like that, but I don't know. Probably, I don't know. But let's get back into the video.
Circumstances, and this I think does create a change of circumstance where they say, hey judge, regardless of whether it was 1 to 11 or 11 to...
The smile is devious. Like it just gives me a feel like I could read his lip. It sounded like he said, I'm coming home. I don't know about that, buddy. But they do gotta let him loose since they couldn't reach the verdict. And yeah, the water, they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. So they probably gonna let him free either way since they can't prove nothing. But get back into the video.
1 to acquit, they could not get all 12. And at least in his mind, the charges are a little bit weaker and he has more aspirations of fighting this case. Let him be out while he fights it. However, on the flip side, the prosecution, they were quick to say, let's do this trial right away. That somewhat negates that because they say, hey, our trial's about to start right now. He's not going to be languishing in jail for months and months on end until the next trial. So it's a bit of a balancing act there.
So Brian's right. In Melly's mind, and maybe in a lot of legal analysts' mind, the case looks a lot weaker than it did when it started. Having said that, does it look weaker in the mind of the court? Because he still tried, he's still facing the charges of double murder, where the judge might say, okay, now you be out, because that didn't change. He's still charged with the double murder here.
Well, not only is he still charged with the double murder, he's also has the death penalty that he's facing.
That's true.
So I think the judge is going to look at this as a very serious case, and I think Judge Murphy is going to think very carefully about what is happening with Cortland Henry. Remember, he is also trying that case. So that case is going to have to be, I think, postponed because he can't do both at the same time unless they assign it to another judge. But I think as far as bond is concerned, Melly has been, I think so far, based on everything we've seen, a very good person as far as being behind bars. He hasn't caused any trouble. He's appeared in court. He hasn't been outrageous in any way, shape, or form. And I think they can set it up so that he has restrictions the way Henry has restrictions.
Right.
So the judge could grant the bond.
It doesn't seem like they're going to be dropping the death penalty aspect of it. Have you ever seen a case before where somebody, the death penalty's on the table and they're actually out on bond pending the trial? I can't remember.
I cannot think of one. Because at the end of the day, there's a number of reasons why people are considered to be a flight risk, and the biggest one usually is the type of punishment they're facing. This is the highest level of punishment in this country, so it would be a reason for someone to flee.
Okay. Big decision for the judge. When we come back, more coverage in South Florida as rapper YNW Melly awaits his retrial, the new addition to Melly's defense team, and new possible strategies for jury selection. That's next. Welcome back, everybody. So we're finishing today's show with more coverage of the YNW Melly saga out in South Florida. The rapper's retrial is set for October in a death penalty case for double murder. But two questions still remain. One, will...
It's the fact, well, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he did. But, like, it's the fact, like, but if he did, it's the fact he probably, like there's a such thing called street cred. So he probably killed his friends to get street cred or something like that. So, like, when he get out of jail, they ain't gonna mess with him. They ain't gonna, fool with him like that because they think they gonna kill him too. But that's just crazy to me. Like, he probably... I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't. But, like, even in a song, he said he shot him. He shot him. And now he's saying it was a drive-by. Put two pieces together, I don't know. It just sounds weird to me, but let's get back into the video.
Wait behind bars or out on bond? And two, what will be different in court a second time around? Well, Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demons, is accused of killing two of his close friends in 2018. Prosecutors believe that Melly and co-defendant Cortland Henry shot the two victims while they were in a Jeep and then staged the alleged gang-related murders to look like a drive-by. Melly's defense team believes that the state lacks both motive and forensic evidence to tie their client to the case. Melly faced the death penalty in his double murder trial, which started in June and by July ended in a mistrial. While Melly's retrial is still more than 6 weeks out, an Arthur hearing is scheduled for Friday to see if Melly is eligible for bond. Now, also noted on the court docket was a change in attorneys. Melly's stacked defense team has switched out attorney David Howard.
So, by my understanding, he might get bond. Bro, let me start, bro. I keep pausing the video. I'm just gonna let y'all watch it.
For Jamie Benjamin, a former president of several lawyer associations and winner of several death penalty cases. Jury selection in Melly's retrial is scheduled to begin October 9th. Terry, new legal team, new strategy. What do you think?
Well, I think the new legal team should make sure that they touch base with the old legal team, and some of the old legal team is still there. One of the things I think they will do differently here, because I had a conversation when I was down there with the attorneys, I think they're going to try, or they should, to put in an expert to battle what was said on the prosecution side as far as that expert was concerned for the trajectory of those bullets, because that's one of the things I think the jury looked at very seriously, how those bullets were shot and how they could only come from where we know that Melly was sitting in that car, at least when he got in. So I expect to see at least one expert to put some more reasonable doubt in the minds of more of those juries, whether it was 9-3 or 3-9 or whether it's just one person. I think they need to have more expert opinion in there. And if they can put another fact witness in, someone else who was sitting in that second vehicle. But, you know, we'll see what happens. The question is, they got one, Adrian Davis. Can they get someone else who was sitting in that second Jeep to come?
Well, the reporting is, the rumor mill is that there was one holdout that convinced two other jurors to vote not guilty for YNW Melly. Now that he's getting this new defense team, you hear Mr. Benjamin's experience in death penalty cases. What do you think? What do you think the strategy is going to be?
Focus on the jury. It's not necessarily, I think the facts are the facts. I don't think there's going to be a wild or drastic changes to what we heard from this second trial. And so when I think of that, it's less about what you can tell, it's more about who you can tell it to. And so if I am the defense, I'm looking for strong personalities, because clearly one person was able to convince two others, if you believe the rumors. And I'm looking for strong personalities who will believe what I'm saying to them, either in my definition of what I'm talking about, the prosecution's burden, that they cannot prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt, that there's too much circumstantial evidence, or just in connecting my client, that being YNW Melly, to someone who's personal in their life. I'm looking for the right person who's going to buy what I'm selling.
And I was just going to ask you, I mean, you can jump on that, Terry, but I was just going to ask you if you were surprised that David Howard was removed from the team. I thought he did a phenomenal job.
Well, not only you, a lot of people thought he did a phenomenal job, and I was very surprised. But it's up to YNW Mellys as to whether or not he wants to have him on the team. I was just going to say, as far as what Brian was concerned, the jury is very important. Remember, this is a death penalty jury, and that makes it harder for the defense because you have to make sure you have people who will give the death penalty.
Well, or open to it.
Correct.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Brian. Everyone out there, thanks for joining us here on Long Crime Daily. We're going to see you next time as we discuss justice in America.
Alright, YouTube. So, this the end of the video. Free YNW Melly. I gotta go pack for a cruise, but make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you get notification when I post another video. And we out. Hold on. And shout out Law and Crime Daily. But now, we out.